Happy Friday. Welcome back to the DIY Designer. We are DIYing because it is Friday, and that's what we do on Fridays. So this is actually a DIY today is something that was requested by a bunch of you after a video that I did. So on Mondays, I do 5 Ways to Friday, which is a styling video, and I did a video featuring a cardigan. And that was what the whole video was about. But in one of the looks, I featured this really cool bag that I actually DIY'd. It was kind of like a pop art, fun red lip bag, and I get compliments on it everywhere, that whenever I wear it, everyone always stops me and asks me about it because it's really simple. And pop art bags are just a really huge trend. We see a lot of them, whether they're like hand painted or they look stamped, similar even to my Tupac shirt. It's just kind of fun, these really bold, bright colors that are done and they feel like art. They add an element of like customization and fanciness. It just makes the piece feel really one of a kind and really cool. So I think that this is a fun thing to add to the bag. And as always, this technique, I'm gonna show you how to create the stencil and how to actually do it. You could do it on something else. You could do it all over a pair of jeans. You could do it on a backpack, on a leather jacket, on a jean jacket. So once you create the little structure, just know that you could always apply this to whatever your personal thing is. Even I'm looking at a chair. You could do it on a chair. So fun. Anyway, all right, materials. I'm gonna stop blabbing. All right, so this is the bag, simple red lips. I did test out this idea, and I did it on the bottom of the bag because I wasn't sure if I liked the way that it looked plain, so I was like, oh, I don't want to ruin it. I ended up deciding to leave it plain, but I am gonna show you that version as well, which is such a classic look. So the very first thing we want to do is create our lips for our stencil. So I drew it over and over until I started getting the hang of the pattern and the overall design that I liked. Now what I noticed was a great way to do it is to create these two little, almost like mountains for our top lip, connected by a nice big swooping lower lip there. And then to create the look as though the mouth is gaped open, you want to round the top and straighten the bottom. So you can see there are two little mountains, nice big lower lip. And then for the inside, you go round on the top, straight on the bottom. Once I had the design that I liked, I made sure that I did it on cardstock because now when I cut it out, it's thick enough to actually act as a stencil. Regular paper is gonna be flimsy and it'll be hard to work as a stencil. Cut it out, and when you get to that center part, just fold the lip in half, make a tiny little slice, and that will allow your scissors to get in and cut out the center. If you have an X-Acto knife though, that would be way easier here. I'm starting off with the lip right in the middle of the bag because that's gonna be my center anchor, and I'll just create my pattern based off of that so everything is centered to that. You can see there, I'm using just a blue pen on black leather, which kind of creates that like purpley iridescent. It's perfect because I can see it, but you're not gonna see it through my paint. Extend the pattern even off to the side if you can't fit a full lip. It's what's gonna create the look as though the pattern is repetitive. For the paint pen, you just pump it a few times to get more ink. And now I'm just painting over the line. You can see it's going right over the paint, the regular pen line, and it's being covered up perfectly by this paint pen. I'm gonna do a second coat, but for now I do one pass on all of them with a single coat, and you can see there the little half lip on the right. That's what really makes the pattern look like it's repeating. And here I go with a second coat. Look at how much more vibrant it gets. Not only does the color become more vibrant, but it becomes more opaque, so you can't see any of those paint lines. Just continue to pump the pen if you start to feel like it's running out of paint. And you'll need to do that like periodically as you go. Now to do the lips with the teeth, this is what you're gonna do. Follow the process as we just did, trace out the lip, go over it with your paint pen, but instead of just leaving the outline, we're gonna fill in the lips. Everything except for that gaping open sliver right there in the middle. So I'm gonna fill it all in. You can do a couple of passes here to make sure that you don't see the lines of your paint pen. You want it to look solid. Now, this is where my mistake was. I forgot to let the red part dry, so you're gonna see a tiny bit of bleeding. But what you're gonna do is take a really thin paintbrush and create two little rectangles that are separated by a little gap. That's gonna look like the gap in our teeth. You can use a paint pen too. A white paint pen would be really easy, but again, just make sure you let that paint dry so you don't have any bleeding. That's it. We're done. Take a look. These guys are so simple and clean, and I actually think that that's what's cool about them. The version with the teeth are really fun, but this is something that you could wear with any outfit. They're like chic and simple, and that sort of skeleton, just that outline is, I think, much, much cooler. Remember that if you're not super artistic, you can always print this off the computer, use it as a stencil with really any shape that you want. But I would say just a nice paint pen, simple color palette, and add a little bit of detail to any old bag. And it's super simple and super fun. I hope that you liked it. Woo!